Your name means everything. Okay. So you already secured the name. Once you secured your domain, then you want to go and get a logo made. Okay. You want to go and get a logo made. Quick hack. I don't rely on one person to do anything for me um, unless I have to, right? I like for people to compete. So that way the best man wins. All right. We always want the best man to win. So what we want to do is once we get started, once we set up our business, we go to Freelancer. Okay. You're going to go to freelancer.com. Now, when you go to Freelancer, you guys write this down. When you go to freelancer.com, what's going to happen is this. Once you go to Freelancer, you're going to set up a competition. Okay. You're going to set a competition up on Freelancer. With the competition, what happens is that you're going to create, a contest. So sign up for an account, create a contest on Freelancer. When you create a contest, spend between 50 to $100. Give them 48 hours or 72 hours. Okay. Let's do 72 hours. So that way, by the time we get back here next week, you guys have your logo picked out or kind of, narrowing it down. Right. The reason that I use Freelancer over like Fiverr is because Freelancer gives us the competition aspect. And when we give people a competition, we say, listen, I'm gonna give you $50 or I'm gonna give you $100 and to make a logo. And I want it either if you have a design in your mind that you kind of want to tweak around with, you can put that out. If you don't have a design yet, if you don't, and you just want them to go to work, you can just let them go and say, hey, listen, this is the name. These are the colors I want. Any kind of ideas you want to put in there. If you don't have any, you can just use the name and say, hey, let's just see what they come up with. What's going to happen is you're going to have people from all over the world competing to make your logo. And what happens is they start talking about each other, right? It was to the point like when we create logos, like they was like talking trash about the ones that I decided to go with. Like, oh, you should have said that if that was this, that, and the third. Like they go in. So the good part about it is that you're now going to have people competing, right? So when I made my logo, when you're judging them, what you want to look for is you want to look for identifiers, right? Like when you see the recession-proof logo, that R was an identifier for me that stood out for me. That's the reason I went with it, right? But the R initially didn't have the arrow on it. They had a regular I, the R was different, and the R on proof was different. That was the only two things that they had changed, right? Well, somebody else had put the arrow on the I. I said, listen, I like your design, but I want you to change my arrow on the I pointing up. So it's like recession proof, point up. Well, he customized it, put the I there, and put the arrow on the R. And I looked and I said, yo, it was dope. So I knew the R would be my identifier. So now if you're familiar with my brand now, I can just rock the R and the R will stand for recession proof and you will understand and know what it is. So look for those identifiers. Okay. That's the things you want to look for is look for those identifiers. So now you want to make sure that your brand, you have a nice logo, right? You want people to compete. This is going to be your best option at getting a logo, in my opinion. I don't like to hire one person and then they just give me, hey, here goes 3 samples. You pick what you want, you get what you get. No, right? You're going to get like 400 entries. The hardest part is going to be narrowing down your options to your top 10 favorite ones. Okay. But then again, that's what we're here for as a family. All right. I'm going to tell y'all a story and y'all just keep it between us. But one of the mentees, he was like, yo, listen, I'm about to start a business called I'm the funding goat. He was like, that's my name. I'm the funding goat. I'm going to be the goat and the greatest of all time when it comes to funding. He was like, yeah, they're going to call me the funding goat. Right. And my man went out and he had him his logos coming back in. And he was like, yo, what y'all think? Right. He was like, what do you guys think? And I'm like, I thought it was fire, right? I'm like, yo, this the one. I'm gonna actually show you guys, right? I'm gonna show you guys. and y'all just keep, it's not bad talk or nothing like that. But we mess up sometimes. He took it down. So, but what he did was he came back, and when he came back with his logos, it was a ram instead of a goat. It was super identified, but it was a ram instead of a goat, right? So my man then put it all. He was like, "Yo, I'm like, yeah, that's the one." I even told him I liked it. Well, he didn't put it all together, put all his flyers together, put it out. He presented it to his team, with his class, and it took somebody else to say, "Yo, boss, that ain't no goat. That's a ram." Everybody laughing and stuff, but he had the thing going corrected. So I say this to say this: somebody in your class is gonna be brutally honest. It's always somebody in the class that's like they just tell the truth, right? We need that. That's what the family is here for. So when you build and you get your logo, drop it in the Telegram. Ask us what do you think, right? I may see something that I like. I'm not God or anything different. I liked it. I'm human. I messed up. I didn't even peep that it was a ram, right? Ask me, I'm like, I would have told him, I don't know what the difference is. Really, just let it go, right? But one of the classmates, one of our family members was like, no, you can't use that. That's a ram, right? And everybody laughed. He ended up going and changing it. That's what the family is here for, right? Some things I'm gonna miss, some things you might miss, some people in your friends might miss. That's what the family is here for. So hopefully we can catch it and we make sure we all build strong collectively. Okay. So that's one thing that's major needed is once you create the contest on Freelancer, after you create that contest, make sure you then go back and say, hey, listen, create the contest and then drop your top 5, your top 10, and let us help you pick. Let's make sure we got one that's a hit that everybody is like going crazy about because it's going to represent you. Your logo